Hey guys, it's KevNX here, and I gotta say that I need more power! Or more footage, if depends on your point of view. Anyway, yesterday or before that, depending on your time zone. And I gotta say that it was awesome, and let's go over it and analyze all that we can get from that footage, even though the quality wasn't the best, but still. Because there's so much footage, I decided to split up, and so I'll talk about one thing at a time so it doesn't get a clusterfuck of information and everyone gets confused. So I'll begin with the less important stuff to the more important stuff. Then again, that depends on your point of view, but that doesn't matter. With that said, let's begin with the basics. Part 1, Movement and Dodging. Right off the bat, we see that Vergil here can start running after 2 steps as opposed to 6 that we needed before. This is also valid for Nero, so it's safe to assume it's universal. Now I want you to pay attention to his summoned swords. So if you notice, he did 2 teleports there. The first one was very fast because he was attacking the scarecrow with summoned swords, so it did not have any lag. The second one he was in the middle of the jump. You'll see a little sword that came out of him and attached to the scarecrow, then he teleported. So there's that delay that really is only noticeable because of the slow motion. It's still very fast. Now he teleported again to the same scarecrow. You'll see it came out very fast. And again! For those of you that were worried that Vergil would not have a jump cancel, after this upper slash he does a jump and then jump cancels off the scarecrow. See? So nothing to worry about. He has it. So it seems Vergil maintains his backwards teleports, and he also gained a sideways one. So I assume it's a strafe plus jump to dodge the second one, the sideways one. As for the inputs of the backwards teleports, hopefully it's the same one as the Devil May Cry 3. We go fast forward a little bit, so you can notice the Taunt. It damages nearby assaults. And now it went to the assault behind him. See? Just for your information, I say it's a taunt because the style meter stopped dropping once he began the animation. Trick up is still here, so yeah. And just like that, in a little over 3 minutes, we got 1/4 of the video done. In fear of this turning out to be a long one, we'll jump straight ahead to the second part, which is Beowulf. Part 2, Beowulf's moves. So nothing new here, but it does require lock on, that's all I can gather from the video. I think it is lock plus back and attack, because the way he turns to face the Angelo seems a little off. What does bother me though is that, if this is the same input, indeed, what happened to Rising Sun? Is it only bounded to the DT Lunar Phase? Notice how he changes the directions in midair. And also that he can do the move on the ground, not only in the air. And here we have Starfall in all its former glory. Gem cancelling glory. Oh yeah, Vergil can now charge Beowulf, which explains the Rising Dragon from the trailer. And the first hit is the same left hand punch we are used to seeing and loving so much. And now Vergil also has kick 13. which leaves me completely confused in terms of move inputs. I have no idea what they are. But we'll get to that later because I have some little ideas during the Force Edge. So hanging tight. We'll get there. Sadly, not much was shown about Beowulf, but we know that he can outcharge, and he has two main combos, and he has Rising Dragon now as well, and a Beehive from Dante in Devil May Cry 3. By the way, the website was updated, so I just took these two pictures here to show you. Part 3. Summoned Swords, not to be confused with the air trick. Once he lands, notice the summoned sword that comes out of him. That's the player pressing and holding the button, which will spawn the swords. Spiral Swords. Also means that you have to say out loud, "Don't get so cocky." Now he will press the button again and you will see another sword fly by, and then the spiral sword formation will reverse and collapse. I mean, fly away. Just like that. Here the swords do not seem to do that much damage to the assaults, but you see they destroy the, well, vases and cases just like Link would. And you'll see later that the Blitz would also get his shield completely destroyed by the swords, so I think the problem's in the assaults. Here it gets a little fun. The heavy rain swords formation literally pinned the assaults down. They all stopped moving and got stuck with their butts up until Vergil hit them again. But then he used a rapid slash, then they all got pretty much slaughtered because, let's face it, Legendary Dark Knight doesn't have that much health. But I digress. Moving on. Lock on and Storm Swords on the Scarecrow. He is now rapid firing while walking. And lock on, the dice, Blistering Swords appears. Okay, this one's a little tricky. We hold the button to get the Spiral Swords. Okay, we hold the button to get them away. Okay, Heavy Rain Swords, I have no idea how to get it. Blistering Swords and Storm Swords seem to need a lock on. If we take DMC Devil May Cry, that might be the case because the inputs could be similar. Though if I had to guess, I would say that the one is lock on back and fire, and the other one's forward, and the third being the infamous back and forward motion that Nero has to use to do the Excalibur, for instance. Now we move on to part 4, Force Edge, and yes, there are many moves that we're going to look. High time hasn't changed a bit, which is a good thing. And now Stinger can also be done in midair, much like Lunar Phase. And now here's a small glimpse of UMVC 3 favorite Helmbreaker that everyone hates. That was combo A, and I know it because later against the other battle he was smashing the attack button and this combo came out constantly. And since he was surrounded by scarecrows, it was a little hard to, you know, figure out, but the sound effects were the same, so it is the same combo. Here it is again. One slash, two slashes, then it goes to Dante's combo B that he hits everywhere around him, and then he finishes with the breakdown stance. The moment you see him Devil Trigger, you know the awesomeness that is Stinger and the Majin form. Completely devastating, just like Dante's. And the air version also has multi-hit properties. But wait a second just yet. Did you see the move he did before the aerial stinger? Yes, that was an air round trip. Much like the Judgement Cut, I guess you just have to hold it and he'll do it in midair. You see, he had to put the sword back to you to do the stinger, so that's why it did not last as long, I think. With the combo A out of the way, we go to combo B, that begins after pausing after the first two inputs. I mean the all-around Dante B combo. That was so freaking awesome. I've always wanted to see Vergil go berserker like that. Though the Yamato and Force Edge reminded me of Nero's Showdown a little bit, especially the end pose. I mean, Vergil begins the same pose that Nero does, the finish animation. You know what I mean. Anyway, combo B aside, let's move on to the overdrive. You'll see why I said like that in just a moment. Here he does teleport twice and then he goes overdrive, but he got hit. Here again the Bliss does the overdrive once, teleports, Helmbreaker, then he teleports again, and Helmbreaker again, and overdrive again. In this second cut here, he will do a Helmbreaker, go to overdrive there, 1, 2, does a stinger, then he'll go to 1 overdrive, 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, I don't know if he's trying to do, but then he cannot do an overdrive, then he faces the other way and finally managed to hit an overdrive in the wall. So yeah, he went completely over, and now he does the same thing again, over. But enough with the overdrives, seriously. Vergil also has drive as his picture shows. But I want to grab your attention for the input. Every time that he tried to do an overdrive, he was teleporting. That leads me to think that if you hold down or rapidly press the style button, the Swordmaster move will eventually come out, or it will come out fast. So I think that's how he is doing the overdrive. He's keep pressing the damn button and then Vergil go crazy that you see there, that you saw. Just as theory though. Makes sense, don't you think? The button mashing theory can also be presented here, that will be followed next by Vergil's Million Stab. Vergil does a Million Stab in 2 occasions. This one appears to come from a stinger. I know it's hard to tell, but he does a stinger pose there before this Million Stab madness. The second moment is very brief and over here during the last Scarecrow. He does the stinger move, or the sound at least, and then he connects with the Million Stab and teleports before the final hit. I wonder if Dante will also be able to use the Million Stab from a Devil Triggered Stinger, because that would be very helpful. It's annoying to have to un-DT to use it every time. And that was it for the Force Edge. I must say I was very amazed by what it was shown. Now we go to the last part, the Yamato. The one you've all been waiting for, I must agree. Part 5, Yamato. Nothing much here, upper slash, air trick, and the aerial rave. I just wish the aerial rave was the same as the original Vergil, not the Vergil from DMC Devil May Cry, but oh well, I guess I'll have to get used to it. Now he will showcase both rapid slashes. Well, you gotta admit that before the Judgment Cut end, I'm sure you were as amazed as I was when I first saw this rapid slash. It seems that the DT version can cancel it into itself for direction change, kinda like the Lunar Phase did before. Not only that, but if you allow Vergil to ferociously sheath his sword, it will do extra damage, as you saw with the Angelus that all fell after multiple passes. This is truly devastating. It's truly perfect. I just wonder if it will consume extra Devil Trigger gauge. But that's not it for the Rapid Slash. It seems that if you hit a wall or press the jump button, I think the latter is just an assumption, Vergil will get out of the ground and go into orbit. I mean the move orbit. Look at some examples, it happened several times. And here we can see it without Devil Trigger as well. And also note that he does the orbit there after the assault drops. He does an then slash, there, slash, slash, and goes into orbit again. That relaunches the assault. Now pay attention for the Yamato combo B. He will do the first slash, second slash, then he'll do the crosscut thing. 1, 2, then goes from the overhead and backs it up. But then he finishes with an upper slash, so we do not know the ending. And then he goes into the rapid slash madness. Here's the Yamato combo C, though without the ender because he cancelled into the Judgement Cut. Though fortunately he did use it before against this Angelo, but it was blocked. But we did manage to see a glimpse of the mayhem. I think it is this one. It looked pretty neat, don't you think? But no, this is not over. It's time for the finale, the Judgement Cut. Unlike the others, this one's very simple to guess. Just hold the attack button and it will come out. Once you let it go, I think. Attack. It will glow, let it go, and chow, the best sound effect in the game. And it can also be done in midair. I'm glad the animation that Vergil should have for the aerial Rave, he has it. Did you notice the difference between the last two cuts? Let's see them again, though a little hint, one of them hits twice. Yes, gentlemen, it seems that it's a variation of the perfect slice. The moment you let go, after it glows, I guess the damage is the double? I suppose, since it does two of them. Anyway. Yes, doesn't matter how many times I watch it, that move is still the badass. In every way possible. Named the Judgement Cut and it can only be used while Devil Triggered and the concentration gauge is full. Though that does not apply to Super Vergil because the gauge is always full in quotes during the Super Vergil. Just like Super Dante, Super Nero, and hopefully Super Lady and Super Trish. Before we end, just a little paragraph about the concentration that I noticed. It drops every time you miss a hit. It keeps depleting while you run near enemies. It depletes completely when you get hit. For successful hits and walking and standing and dodging with the teleports or tricks, it will grow. Every time Vergil flashes with an aura, it changes levels out of 3, I think. So when he was walking around the scarecrow and it grew because he reached level 0 to level 1, I think. And then the following goals that synchronize with the concentration gauge increasing, we'll figure out the next levels of Vergil. I wonder if his attack moves will change depending on the concentration level you are at. Woo! 20 minutes. I guess it was a little longer than I expected. I hope you liked it just as much as I did, because I did not expect to notice so much, talk about a lot. I guess Vergil's just that much awesome for us all. Well, thanks for watching, and I see you next time. Just my little tribute to Yamato.